77 million Americans voted for a low information voter, a total dipshit, Donald Trump. He doesn't know the meaning of D-Day. Play the clip.
Mr. President, to talk with you later on how we could contribute to that goal. And we all are looking for measures and for instruments to bring this terrible war to an end. And may I remind you that we are having June 6th tomorrow. This is D-Day anniversary, when the Americans once ended a war in Europe. And I think this is in your hand in specific, in ours.
That was not a pleasant day for you?
No, that was not a pleasant.
This was not a great day.
In the long run, Mr. President, this was the liberation of my country from Nazi dictatorship.
That's true.
So
I mean, it's wild to think that you have the German Chancellor sitting there, and he knows as he's saying it, he knows that the parallels between the MAGA movement and what happened in the buildup to D-Day, he's abundantly aware. Everybody in Europe is abundantly aware. He said, well, that was the day my country was liberated from the Nazis. And as he says that, he's like, and so are you. And you have Nazis all over your administration. That's wild to see. I mean, as somebody who loves to study World War II, that is a stunning moment.
Well, here's the thing. Not only are we surrounded by Nazis in America, Elon Musk is going global with his Nazism. He wants all the people, like the far right. And you know what the other countries are doing? Canada, Europe, they're going left. They're going more liberal.
It's the Trump bump, which is leading everybody more left.
Right, because this movement is so dangerous.
Okay, and then here he is embarrassing himself. And I mean, and other world leaders, just so the people in the United States know, they're smart. Like people, they're intelligent people. We started this thing when we elected George W. Bush. That's when the bar went low. And then we appointed John McCain, who was pretty bright, did the Sarah Palin thing. So we started this priming people for a stupid president. And then now we have the dumbest one of all, Donald Trump, and listen to him talking to the German Chancellor.
But Chancellor, I just want to congratulate you and I want to welcome you to the Oval Office.
Thank you.
It's an Oval Office that's in very good shape. We like fixing things up and having them tippy-top like they have in Germany.
Yeah.
They do that in Germany very much, and we do it here. We're having a very good run. I also had a great election, great win, won everything. Won the popular vote, all 7 swing states, which is a big deal. It's pretty unusual to do that.
Okay, I mean, first of all, it's just all lies and just the constant grandstanding. I mean, don't you know that Chancellor's just sitting there going, what a tiny, insecure imbecile this man. And he's like, y'all.
Yeah, what's he supposed to say?
It's just, I want everything. Like swing states haven't been won before. Yes, they have. I mean, it's just, he's such an idiot.
My favorite part of the clip is he starts by saying, welcome to the Oval Office. It's oval. Like, no shit, Sherlock. Everybody knows that. And, we fixed it up. I mean, it looks like a flea market in there. It's embarrassing.
And then you have the German Chancellor who has been crystal clear. He has total clarity on the support of Ukraine. And this is a very important issue wherein MAGA, who has been propagated by Vladimir Putin, has started to prime MAGA people to where now they're supporters, full-blown supporters of Russia, who doesn't support democracy, is a murderer, steals money from the public, everything that Trump wants. Putin does. So here we are on Trump talking about the Russia and Ukraine war.
You've had enough. Go ahead.
Mr. President, so would you consider to put more sanctions on Russia? Because this discussion is going on now for weeks and months, and you tweeted about it once, but then nothing happens. So
Yeah, when I see the moment when we're not going to make a deal, when this thing won't stop,
Is there a
in that moment, yeah, it's in my brain, the deadline. When I see the moment where it's not going to stop, and I'm sure you're going to do the same thing, will be very, very, very tough. And it could be on both countries, to be honest. You know, it takes 2 to tango. But we're going to be very tough.
It's unbelievable how he is more difficult. He is a lot tougher on people who he deems to be liberals or Democrats in the United States of America than he is on a murderous dictator, Vladimir Putin, who has used him and has compromising information on him. And he shows it every single chance. Every single chance that he has, that any reporter gives him to show daylight between himself in the position of the United States of America and Russia, he always chooses Russia. This is a Russia first administration. It is so bad that the German Chancellor has to explain the difference between Russia and Ukraine to the President of the United States because the President is so compromised by Vladimir Putin.
This had never happened with Ukraine weapons against Russia. Never. Ukraine is only targeting military targets, not civilians, not private, not energy infrastructure. So this is the difference, and that's the reason why we are trying to do more on Russia, how to stop this war.
And that's true. I mean, you have Russia, Zelensky, who they are attacking the military of Russia. And it was a surprise attack, which I'm sure was led by him with coordinating with Zelensky and all of the other European allies, wherein the United States of America was not allowed at the table. So the whole time that they were berating Zelensky in the Oval Office, and they said, you don't have the cards, you don't have the cards, Zelensky was colluding with the smart people, with the people who believe in democracy for this attack, which was considered the Pearl Harbor of Russia. It threw Vladimir Putin so off guard, and the White House was left out on purpose because that little snitch, Donald Trump, he would have called Vladimir Putin in 2.5 seconds because it is Russia first, always has been, always will be, as long as Donald Trump is president of the United States.
Well, and Trump wouldn't necessarily even have to call because we've got Tulsi Gabbard. We've got signal chats going that are easy
You got
to
Marco
access.
Rubio that has flipped, who had browbeat one of the Trump 1.0, and I can't remember if it was Pompeo or who it was. Do you think Vladimir Putin's a war criminal? Do you think Vladimir Putin's a war criminal? Rubio was a senator. The guy said, I can't answer, blah, blah, blah. Now the script is flipped. Same thing. Marco Rubio will now not admit that Vladimir Putin is a war criminal when just 4 years ago he had crystal clear clarity on the issue. It's unbelievable how weak American foreign policy is right now.
Absolutely. And then when Elon Musk gets into all our private records, then Russia comes right in behind it and everybody knows it. And you know what's happening? Fucking nothing other than the two boyfriends are fighting. It is ridiculous. And here's the thing that got me. Well, I have a deadline. It's in my brain. Like, your brain is like scrambled eggs. Please. I mean, cut me some slack. I have a deadline. It's in my brain. The president of the United States said that out
Yeah,
loud.
but I mean, he gets up every day and says stupid shit all day, every day. I mean, every single day, it is just a non-stop assault of stupidity on anybody with an IQ over 100. It's just stupid shit back and forth like a goddamn sprinkler. It's awful. All right. Lastly, we have a post here. Put this up. This is from Jack Fitzpatrick, and he says the Trump administration is paying $13.3 million over the next 4 years to rent 3 houses near Mar-a-Lago. In one case, they're paying 5 times the rate it cost to rent the same house during Trump's first term. And so this is exactly what we did in Trump 1.0. He booked all of the stuff at, Trump hotels. This, as far as Trump grifts goes, this is very mild. This is very light grifting.
Well, here's the thing. He is enriching himself. Full stop. It is nothing about the American people. He doesn't give a shit about fiscal responsibility. He doesn't give a shit about federal
He's not
cuts.
fiscally responsible.
No, he isn't. He's making $1 billion a day, and that's what we know. I mean, I'm sorry, $1 billion a month, and that's what we know of. And he's just gouging the American people again and again and again. And for him to sit there and act like he has even a shred of economic conservatism and meaningful economic policy makes me want to throw up in my mouth.
And here's the big thing. Here's how he gets away with this. MAGA supporters will say, if you approach them with that, they'll say, well, he's smart. You see what he's doing? You see what he's doing? He's getting people to rent. They could rent any other house, but at least they're renting his houses. The Republican Party has convinced working class voters to defend the egregious rape and pillage by the billionaire class of the working class. They have successfully gotten the working class to defend corporate and billionaire greed. It's unbelievable. Like whenever you hear a MAGA person talking about it, they defend like, well, he didn't have to be president. He's doing this out of the goodness of his heart. He could have just lived in New York and been a billionaire. They think he's sacrificing for them.
Right.
So that $13 million or whatever it is, that's a real mild Trump grift. If that was all there was, I'd be like, game on, because
Right.
that one doesn't even get that doesn't even excite me in the least bit. The problem is the 77 million will defend that.
Right.
They'll defend that. They'll defend the plane. They'll defend the Bitcoin. They'll defend the gold sneakers. They'll defend all of it because they think Trump is a sacrificial lamb who has sacrificed his personal life for the betterment of the country and because he's this big patriot, which is also a huge lie.
Right. And if they knew anything and even read a tiny bit of news, they would realize, but for The Apprentice, he would have gone bankrupt, even inheriting $500 million. And that when he ran for president, he was like liquid. He was so tight cash flow wise. He was probably going to go bankrupt again. So he is using the office of the president to enrich himself because he was going to be broke ass.
I mean, I don't think there's any question he was probably going to be in jail, as he should be in jail. I mean, what he did and the fact that he's got all of these like what worries me is the tens of millions of Americans that no longer believe in accountability.
Right.
Or rule of law.
That's right.
That are just fine with him pardoning all of those people, and that we just go on and we cover all of this stuff every day. I mean, look at the Oval Office. It is oval. From that all the way to the grifting. And it's just, I think this is a crazy time to be alive, and it's a great time to be alive if you're a white-collar criminal.
Absolutely. White-collar criminal, this is your era.
All right, we'll see you all later.